What's going on, guys, and welcome to another video. Today is just going to be a bunch of random thoughts kind of jammed together all in one. I don't really have a set way that I'm going to do this, but I'm going to be recording two videos today. One is my end of month January, so 1 month studying Japanese, what I've done, what I've accomplished, and then I'll record another one that'll be up tomorrow. That will be what my goals are for the following month. But anyway, let's get into this month. So first and foremost, before I get into it, if you're new to this and you stumble across it because you're searching people that learn Japanese or whatever, do not look at my results as typical results, and that's not me saying that I'm smart and that I have an ability to learn languages, but it's not really truly 1 month. I've studied Japanese off and on for about 10 years, just never super like a long period of time. I did get to where I could speak back in 2009, maybe at, a very elementary level, probably like a 2 or a 3-year-old, like literally babbling. So it's not really fair to say that I've only been studying it a month. I do have an advantage. I know hiragana and katakana pretty well. I can read hiragana almost as fast as I can read English, and I can read katakana for the most part pretty well. So as far as that, I didn't have to take the time to learn those, and that's one thing that I recommend is learning those two before you start anything else. It'll make things a lot easier. So when you watch this video, don't necessarily think that I'm a fast learner as much as just this is the first time I've really stuck with it for a long period of time, but it's a lot of stuff that's just kind of coming back to me. So I'm going to jump right into first, I will say Japanese from zero. I have been using this. This is a very good refresher course for me. It's very well done. The thing I love about this is that you can do the lesson and then all the courses he has a video for on his YouTube channel. This has a ton of vocabulary. I am 4 lessons in, and I have flashcards. Now I do know a lot of words too, but there's 130 words in this that have been introduced that I don't know. So it's a ton of vocabulary, a ton of practice. It is better if you can have somebody to kind of go with, because there's a lot of stuff in here that'll be like, you read one thing and then somebody else play another role. Like, it's a lot of role-playing stuff. It's not something you have to do, but it's something that you can do. The other cool thing about this is, if you don't know hiragana or katakana, it has a gradual approach. So as you're reading stuff, it will teach you a few hiragana and katakana, and then as you get through it, like, I don't know if you can see that there, so like some of the words, like that top sentence right there, like nan desu ka, mohu desu ka. So the "u" in there, because it's taught you up to this point, and then that way you know it. The second sentence there, mo ichido ite kudasai. The second sentence right here, you can see that some of the characters are used because you've learned them already. So it's a gradual approach to learning, which is really cool. So I'm 4 lessons into that, and it's really helpful. I like it. I could probably benefit a little more for that if I was a little bit smarter. I should probably do some writing exercises out of it or something. For the most part, I'm using it more so as a refresher, because I do know a lot of basics in Japanese. So, but it's very well wrote. The next thing I use, and I've talked about this a million times, is Lingodear. I'm a massive fan of this system here. I'll just pop that up there. I am 55.9% through. I'm on a 30-day streak. I've only got 2 experience today. I've done just a little bit of a refresher, but this is really good. I'm getting into a little bit of the harder stuff now, but I have done a ton of stuff on here. There is well, I just went into a lesson on accident. There's so much stuff on here that you can do. I've gone through all of this stuff. Yep, keep going. So, as you can see, there's a ton of stuff on here, and I'm at 55.9. Yeah, there's where we stop right there. So, I'm at 55.9% on that, and I feel really good. Now, saying I'm 55.9% done doesn't mean I'm 55.9% done with learning Japanese. It's just that one course Lingodear has made available. They did update it, where you can do actually a Japanese too. So Lingodear is constantly updating, and that is really neat. The thing I like about this is Lingodear is kind of glorified sentence mining. If you get stuck on a word, you can click on it and it'll tell you what it means mid-lesson and why it's used. So there's grammar notes within, unlike Duolingo that does not have that, and that's really helpful, especially the later that I get down, because there's some stuff like I can't even think of examples right now, but there's some stuff that's just really, really confusing. Like, well, for example, amari. So, like, if you're saying that something is not very expensive, you use amari, and then or what is expensive? Takai. So you would say amari takakunai. You use the negative form of the adjective plus amari, which makes it a double negative, so it's positive, so it's not very, it's kind of confusing, but it's very, very well done. I think it's done really, really well to help you kind of get a grasp of it, which I'm not going to get into grammar here, but anyway, that app is really, really cool. So 55.9% done with that. I'm not using Duolingo really. I was using it to begin with as I was doing live streams, but the program is so buggy and busted for Asian languages. I think it's a perfect app for European languages or anything that doesn't have like any kind of scripts. But the problem is, especially with Japanese, it's so impossible to teach onyomi and kunyomi because you may have a character that reads differently. And so when you click on it, it has one reading, but it's not how it's supposed to be read. Like, for example, ima means now, and then yobi means day, but when they're together, it's not ima yobi, it's kyo, which means today. It's now day, but it's read completely differently. So that can make Duolingo struggle. And I'm not saying that Lingodear does that perfectly, but I've not ran into anything where something has been pronounced the way that it should not be, as far as like kyo is always kyo. It's like if you highlight it separately, it has the correct pronunciation based on the sentence that you're at. So the other thing I like about the idea of sentence mining is each lesson kind of focuses on a sentence, and then it kind of creates a plug and play thing. So if you learn how to say, which I mean, I guess this would go for anything, but like I am eating ramen, like ramen o tabimasu, then you can kind of plug and play. That's not really a good example, I guess, because that would be pretty much anywhere. But like, for example, if you were going to the park, like koen ni kimasu, I'm going to the park, you can plug and play that with anything, like whatever, you know, toshokan ni ikimasu, I'm going to the library, or whatever the case may be, you can do that. So that's it as far as that. Now, I have been using drops as well, just for some added vocabulary, which I'll talk a little bit more in the video tomorrow, because that's a bigger goal that I have. I kind of slacked off on using drops, but I'm kind of back into using it just for additional vocabulary. But I'll get into more of that in tomorrow's video. As far as how I can speak, another thing that I do is I listen to Japanese. I try to listen several hours a day, and it's not anything that I know what they're saying. It's not that I can say, hey, I know what they're saying. I know what they're saying, but I don't know what they're saying, if that makes sense. I've trained myself to be able to hear. Now, not everything, but passively listening has trained myself how to hear it. That way, when I start speaking it, I'm one step ahead, and I don't have to constantly ask people to slow down, which I probably will, but not as much as I would normally have to, because I listen to hours of Japanese audio a day passively. I'm not actively sitting there thinking, okay, what did they just say? What did they just say? I'm just letting my brain absorb it. Your brain is a very, very powerful thing, and if you just let it do what it does, you don't even have to think about it, man. It will naturally adapt to you, to the sounds, so you can gradually learn how to hear the language. I could honestly stand to use more listening, but I listen to it when I'm at work, so it's just easier for me to do then. But yeah, I do that as well. So as far as speaking goes, I can speak okay, but nothing intricate. I can ask for drinks or meals, or I can talk about eating. I can talk about kicking somebody if I wanted to. I can say things like, let's see, koen de uchi no musuko wa inu to arukimasu. So that would be like, my son is walking in the park with a dog. I can say stuff like that, you know what I mean? Now, obviously, you know, you can kind of plug and play those a little bit, but I've learned, that just kind of shows you I've learned some stuff as far as using particles and things like that. The last thing, I forgot to mention this in the things that I do, and I'll get back to the speaking. I do take italki lessons. I've been taking 1 a week, and then actually the last week I've been taking 2 a week, and I can't express to you how valuable that is, man. Just forcing yourself, because the thing is, you can do all these apps and all this stuff, but unless you're actively using it, you don't realize how much it helps. Like, I had been struggling with the word toys. Now, why would I learn toys? Well, I have a son. He plays with toys. Like, that's a good, you know, you always learn stuff that's relevant to you. And I kept struggling with it, and my teacher was going through some stuff, and toys came up, and I was like, I don't remember. And using it in sentences a couple of times, it's omocha, and it helped. Like, just using it in a sentence a couple of times helped. Just actively saying it and having to critically think, because he would say, okay, translate this. My son plays with toys, and I would say, I don't know. And then, okay, uchi no wa, omocha, I don't even know the particle. I can't even think right now. Uchi no mutsuko wa, my son plays with toys. So omocha to. I don't know if with would be the same there, actually. See, I still need to learn some stuff. But anyway, and then asobimashita, or asobimasu. Asobimashita would be past tense. But yeah, that is kind of where I'm at right now. So no terms of slowing down. I'm going super hard on this. How long is this video right now? 11 minutes, not too bad. So I just looked over and saw it. I have been using Genki. I am chapter 2 into that. I am working with my buddy Evan, who lives in Japan, on that. However, man, Genki's a whole nother animal. I love the simplicity of Japanese from Zero. Like, this book is a lot more self-study friendly. Like, Genki is, I mean, people say it, but it's literally a school textbook. It is just dense material, man, and I love it. But it's a little bit harder for me at my level to just kind of break into by myself, so I have been using that as well. This video has been all over the place, but I hope you enjoyed that. I do believe that is going to be it. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down, and I will have a video up tomorrow talking about my goals for the month of February, because unlike every other year that I've ever done anything, this year it's Japanese. It's all Japanese all the time, man. AJAT. I'm not using the AJAT method, but you know what I mean. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys tomorrow in the next video.